Okay, we're going to spend a little bit of time just reviewing some pre-algebra linear. I know that you did this last year, but it was a bit ago. A few things you learned last year is slope. Slope means unit rate. It is the rate of change, miles per gallon, feet per minute, things like that. Slope is the rise over run of a line. Slope talks about the steepness of a line. Where these numbers come from is if I give you two ordered pairs. I could give you the first ordered pair, and they have the small ones there. I could give you a second ordered pair, and that is why they have the little twos there. It is the rise, the up and down of the line over the run, the right and the left. Remember, when we graph, to move up and down on a graph, it's because it's the y's. Does it really matter if this x goes first or that one? No, just make sure these match. Like this is ordered pair number 2. Right here we have ordered pair number 1. It doesn't matter at all which one you put first as long as they correspond or match there. You worked with the equation y equals mx plus b. We just talked about that. That is your slope, your unit rate, the steepness of a line, all kinds of information there. The b at the end, I sometimes will say y equals mx plus or minus b. That is your y-intercept. That is the starting point. The starting point in a story situation, the starting point on a graph. I started 400 miles from home and traveled 18 miles per hour. My starting point would be how far from home I started. Going to these graphs, we are going to write the equation for the line. What I like to do first is we're going to work with our slope. When I look at this line, I'm going to identify a few good points. And when I say good point, I mean where the line crosses through a corner of our graph paper. This right here is not a good point. I have no idea if that's 1.5, 3/4. Then what I will do is I will draw a triangle to connect any of these two good points. I don't care if you draw the triangle above or below the line. Remember, it's the rise, the up and down, so that is too tall. And the run tells me the left and right. This triangle runs 1. So it has a height of 2, runs 1. Remember last year, starting left to right, we have to determine left to right, what direction is the line going? This line is headed uphill, so therefore this is a positive slope. So my slope is positive 2. Now, if I decided to use my large triangle here, it rises 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes left or right or runs 2. I simplify that. Oh, I got the same answer. It does not matter what two good points you connect, you should always get the same answer. So far in our equation, we have y equals 2x. Now I need to look at my y-intercept, where the given line crosses the y-axis. Well, here's the origin, so -1, -2, -3, at -3. Do not write 2x plus negative 3. We don't need all of those extra signs in the way. Now on the one right next to it, put a couple dots where you see what I've been calling good points. There are a few of them. I just picked these two. Connect them with a right triangle. If you pick different ones, that it will be okay. Rise over run, so mine is 1, 2, 3, 4. And my base or run is 2. So my slope so far is a 2, but before I think I'm done, starting on the left-hand side of the graph, follow the line. I notice my arm is going down. The line travels downhill left to right, meaning we have a negative slope. So this 2 is negative. Y equals negative 2x. I now need to find the y-intercept where my given line crosses the y. Right there. Start at the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 4, so I'll put plus 4. I would like for you to pause the video and try the next two. In a moment, we'll compare answers. Thank you for pausing. For the graph on the left, I have these two equations. Typically, you will find it written without the 1 there. Remember, we've talked about if there's more than one variable, they have to put the digit. If there is only 1, they don't put the digit. I ended up with a slope of 1, headed uphill, so it's positive, y-intercept at 1. For the line on the right, I picked those two good points. I had a rise of 3, a run of 2, so I have 3 over 2. The line heading downhill means it is negative. Do not use decimals. Do not use proper fractions. Leave it simplified but improper. My y-intercept was 4. Now we are going to work the other direction. We're going to graph. Right here, remember we talked about that being the starting point known as the y-intercept. That is the point 0, 4. So I'll start at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will put my point. This number, negative 2, is my slope. Oh, but we talked about slopes need a rise over run. This tells me the up and down. That tells me the right or the left. But I don't see a run. So what number could I write under negative 2 that won't change the value of negative 2? Well, you can put any number over 1 and it will still mean or equal 1. My rule is this top number will tell me the up and down, but I will always, always, always run to the right so I don't accidentally make a number positive. So down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. I like to do a few points that helps me potentially make a straighter line. Doing the very best you can. Draw a line that passes through those points. We are not playing connect the dots. Do not just draw 2 points and stop. This is a line that travels forever, passing through these and many more points. Okay, now we're going to do the next one. Ooh, we have a y-intercept of negative 6, so I will start at the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that barely fit, but that's okay. I then have a slope of 5 over 2. It's positive, so I'm going to move up 5 and always, always, always travel to the right. So starting at my starting point, y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Again, please put a few dots on there. It really helps make the straightest line possible. Extend through the lines. We are not playing connect the dots. The line passes through those. On the next page, I have 4 of them for you to practice. Pause the video, practice those 4, and we will compare our graphs in just a moment. Please pause the video. Thank you for pausing. Just a few things I want to point out, then you may pause the video again to really investigate if our lines are identical. For this one here, when I give you just negative x, well, it has to mean negative 1, because if it was a negative 4, they would have had a negative 4 there. If it was negative 3/5, they would have the fraction there. When there is not a digit, but a negative sign or no sign, that means there's just 1. Here's your x. It happens to be negative, so we have a negative 1. I wrote it as a fraction, so I went down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Again, the line is negative, passing through the points, not playing connect the dots. This one was very straightforward. Start at negative 4, up 3, right 2, up 3, right 2. Again, in a minute, you can pause the video and review. This one was very straightforward. I started at plus 3, went down 1, right 4. I could really only fit 1. If you wanted to go in the other direction, you may, but be very careful. Oh, the last one. We had to really think. What number can you add to every math problem in the whole world, but it never ever changes? You can add 0. So I didn't have a starting point, so I added a 0. The origin became my starting point. So I started at the origin, a slope or unit rate of 2, so I went up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Please rewatch any part of the video that you have questions on.